All right, Harrison, so last change of the week, this is going to be for your acceleration and change direction work that you're going to do tomorrow, so on Thursday. The same overall setup in terms of the cones and the distances are going to be the same. You'll still have your two gates, and you'll still have the back cones about 10 yards that allow you just to walk through to decelerate and then walk around for some recovery. The only thing that you're going to have to add to this is either use cones to set up basically like a diagonal zigzag pattern that's going from one gate to the other gate, or you can just find two lines that are running parallel with one another that are about 5 yards apart, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe a little bit wider, and you can just do the back and forth that way with no cones. So it's completely up to you, whatever's easier. But basically, like I said, you'll have your gates, and for the very first variation, you're going to run forwards, and it's going to be sprinting into a 45-degree cut, changing directions, working around the outside of the cone each time. And then on the way back, you're going to do the exact same thing but going backwards. That's why I like the painted lines on the court or a field versus the cones, because if you're going backwards, you can step on the cones. It's just really easy to do. But I'll show you what we're looking for as you go through this. Really looking for the same thing on both. First thing that we want to talk about is changing levels. So you're going to start off in that acceleration position, so you're going to be more upright running, and you need to change levels and lower yourself down into the change of direction. And so as you do that, so you come in and everything starts to sink, like we've talked about before, keeping everything in line and staying tall through your torso so you can get your legs up in the front, and that'll help navigate you around the cones. An easy way to think about it is when you're changing direction, your knees are basically like your rudders. They kind of guide you. So if they're not up in the front of your body, you're not in a good position to absorb force or slow down or accelerate out of the cut. So things can get kind of wonky. The other thing that we're looking for is as you're accelerating into the cut, you're going to be taking longer steps. You're speeding up. That's totally natural. You're going to be familiar with that running track. We want to see the flip side thing happen, so your step length should decrease or get smaller, or your stride frequency should pick up around the cones. So if you're sprinting in, you drop down, and it's going to be a couple of those shorter, smaller steps to help you reorient those forces while you keep your feet underneath you and you stay in that lower position. So instead of just trying to come in and like throw your foot into the cut and then get out, let yourself take a couple of steps around each cone. That will definitely help you out quite a bit when you're working backwards. The last part that I want you to think about is as you come out of the cut, we're trying to create some separation. So you want to basically take a directional step, or take that leg that's closest towards the cone that you're working towards and open that leg up and step towards that cone. And then you're going to just reverse it, and your steps are going to lengthen. You're going to start to stand back up, and then you go back down to the cut, stand back up, and you'll work around the cones the whole direction like that. Okay, so that's going to be going forwards. You're going to work around the cone, sink down, a couple of quick steps, directional step out. Use your arms as you step across and open, like use your arm to get some front side mechanics. Run to the next cone, around, and you're basically just doing 45-degree cuts. The overarching goal is to try and make it through the cones under control, using those smaller steps so you don't get kind of wild and crazy, but you want to try and maintain as much speed as you can. That doesn't mean that you won't slow down at all. You should slow down a little bit around the cones, but you're basically just trying to maneuver yourself through these cones as gracefully as possible. All right. Once you go to the other side, you're going to be working backwards. So it's actually going to be a crossover run, and then plant, and then come back across. And you're going to be working side to side just like you were before. Again, the big thing is we're running a couple of shorter steps, and then allow yourself to gather your momentum with your feet underneath you and then take off. I don't have enough space to get into this the way that I should, but I'll try my best. This would be an example of not picking up your feet in terms of frequency, and you just run in. See, I can't even do it. So you can see I have a couple of small steps and then I take off. And that just allows me to reposition myself. While you're going backwards, what I want you to think about doing is just keeping your head and your eyes straight ahead the whole time. So as I'm running this way, and then I go through my plant, I open my hips up, I drive across my body, but I'm looking this direction the whole time. This is gonna help stimulate running with someone with your lower body turned to the side, but being able to keep that person in front of you, in front of your vision, and keep your trunk turned back towards them, because that's gonna allow you to be able to switch your feet and go back the other way if they decide to cut and go the other direction. So you perform it the same way you did before. 1 rep down, walk around the cone, come back, wait till you're ready. When you feel ready, you go through it. Forwards and then backwards. The first one's just a 45-degree cut, so you sprint to the cones and then get out. And then the next one's gonna be like lateral or 45-degree running backwards, just keeping the head facing straight ahead the entire time. On the first set, you can just, don't worry about looking anywhere. Just get in and out of the cuts as well as you can. And when you move backwards, same goals. You're trying to slow down as little as you can, but you're gonna have to slow down a little bit to maintain control as you go through that change of direction. So it's gonna be some give and take.